Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizzano, and this is episode 330 of the world famous, the University Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. But ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call it online marketing moves. And we are coming to you live today. Today is Sunday, July the 11th, 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing today? Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about something important. Today is Sunday. We are going to talk about authenticity, and we are going to talk about the fakeness of social justice warriors. We're going to talk about people claiming authenticity, but they're really not. We're going to talk about the fakeness of social media. So we're going to get into all these subjects right now. And we're also going to discuss why if you want to stand out amongst the crowd, you should be yourself. Just be you, and you are already 5 steps ahead of the game. Now, the reason why I bring this up, we talked about this the other day. We discussed the downward spiral of ESPN overall, just as a company in general. A lot of people are pulling the plug, but we discussed, some of the things that happened. We discussed one of the reporters who got caught on, not caught, but she was on. She was recorded or whatever, and saying, "Oh, they gave this person a job because she's black," basically, and the lady that said that is, a quote, sort of a social justice warrior, and we have a lot of those, but you have to be very careful, especially if you live here in the United States of America, of these social justice warriors. A lot of people claim they're social justice warriors, but they are social justice warriors up until a point, until it affects them. Then no. You know what I mean? It's all I'm don't of course, we all saw the tape of George Floyd, and it's very despicable. Don't get me wrong. It's disgusting. It's disgusting the way sometimes the police treat black people, but it hasn't changed in forever. And the same people basically, they go to Congress or whatever, and Democrats and Republicans, that's another thing, but that's a whole nother tangent. Democrats take office, nothing changes. Republicans take office, nothing changes. So honestly, especially if you look like me, I would stay away from being. I would stay away from. I would be more independent than anything if I was you, because it doesn't matter. It really does not matter. Republicans, they're not going to change. Nothing's going to benefit you. Nothing's going to stop a police officer from standing on your neck. What's going to happen? It happened to George Floyd. People outraged. They did a little looting, did a little rioting. Let's get some change going. Finally, somebody that actually murdered a black person got some time in jail, which is, I mean, you much rather have the person alive, of course, but, they find justice. I use quotes about that. Justice was finally served. But anyway, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But you have these people who come down from the mountaintop, these social justice warriors. They're like, oh, no, we're not going to let this happen. We're not going to stand for this. So, it comes. And I mean, fakeness is from companies, fakeness is from people, celebrities, people just trying to get a name out there. They stand by the family, they stand by these people, take pictures, blah 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 blah. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and then when all the cameras go away and everything goes away, they go back to the lives. They go back to the, they probably use racial epithets. They probably use the N-word and all types of language. That's despicable too. I'm gonna say this. I can summarize this whole podcast up for you right now. If you are going to be in, you're going to run a business, It doesn't matter how you run it. Doesn't matter if the way you talk on the camera is not the way you talk off the camera. You might want to change a few things. You might want to cut that out. Because the 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 thing that stands out the most is not that okay. Somebody's that they you had a contract. Okay, Rachel Nichols, she had a contract. She had a contract. She said she's supposed to host the NBA Finals. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, everybody knows. You want to be on. Listen, we all have egos. Don't get me wrong. I have an ego. You have an ego. We all have egos. Everybody has an ego. So if you want to be on TV, fine. That's no problem. If you say, oh man, Maria Taylor, I can't believe they gave her my job. I'm better at this job than her. Blah blah blah. Nothing wrong with that. You can say that. But as soon as you say you're supposed to be, a wokey woke person, and you say, oh no, they took my job because they're black. Then it's like, oh, wait a minute. So now, it sounded, all that other stuff sounded good until it happened to you. So there's a fakeness to social justice warriors. There's a disingenuous thing to a lot of people. And it's not just white people. It's all people. Disingenuous when it comes to fakeness, online. It's just like Juneteenth. Now all of a sudden they passed the bill for Juneteenth. La da da da. They passed the bill for Juneteenth. And they're like, hey, you can celebrate Juneteenth. Now you have all these companies coming out of the woodworks. I'm amazed. All these companies coming out of the woodwork. Oh, we're celebrating Juneteenth. Juneteenth has been around for a long time now. And now all of a sudden these companies are trying to capitalize, and it's disgusting. It's very disgusting. They're trying to capitalize on the fact that, oh, we passed Juneteenth. They passed Juneteenth. It's a federal holiday. Now they're trying to jump on the bandwagon. Despicable. It's quite disgusting, matter of fact. And that's the whole thing about the fakeness of people, the fakeness of business, the fakeness of social justice, the warriors, the fakeness of just being online, period. It's utterly disgusting these days. And if you want to get ahead, be yourself. If you are left leaning, if you are right leaning, whatever you are leaning, be that. Be that on camera, be that off camera, be who you are. Of course, as you well know, some when you do podcasts or you get interviewed for podcasts, you're gonna ramp up your personality a little bit. You're not gonna act like you just woke out of bed. Don't get me wrong. You're not gonna be like, hello, how are you? But who you are is who you are. Just level that up a little bit. Don't go into. I'm not gonna sit here and say, I'm not gonna sit here and act like, I'm not gonna get online and be like, oh, I've been an airline pilot for 15 years. No, I've driven a truck. I didn't graduate college. I got a high school diploma. I went to the military. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I got a PhD and a bunch of this and a bunch of that. And there's so much fakeness going on in the world, and it's more and more disgusting. It's more and more it's ridiculous. And these people, they come from the, like I said, they come from the mountaintop. I listened to this podcast about, a year later, George Floyd, and then they did a poll, and it was like, what do people think now? And then it basically was like, we're not interested in that story anymore. It's a story. These people are interested in stories. All these, quote unquote, we're woke, wokety woke. But it's just like I saw this episode on the Boondocks, and they talked about, I think the teacher, Riley, if you've never seen the Boondocks, you should check it out. But Riley, his teacher called him the N-word, and Riley got representation. He was represented by this guy named Rollo, something like that. And he went head to head with it was like a sort of an Ann Coulter kind of person. And, like they got off camera, and he was like, Ann, how you been? And she was like, oh, my boyfriend acted up. And then grandpa was like, wait a minute, y'all two know each other? It was like, yeah, she good people. We do this thing, we just get to go. Basically, it was like a wrestling storyline, and that's what a lot of people have become. Wrestling is god awful these days, but the one thing that people have perfected is coming up with storylines crafting storylines for themselves and for, coming down from mountaintops, being social justice warriors and, getting their picture taken or saying they're going to do this, they're going to do that. But then when all the cameras go away, when everything goes away, they're like, back to my home, back to what I care about, and it's like I said, it's disgusting. And if you want to get ahead, if you want to be, if you really want to, you know, get ahead, just be yourself. And it's the same as you see these people on Instagram, a friend of mine sent me this thing and it showed a lot of people, a lot of young ladies in wheelchairs. And I guess they would come back from having surgery the um in the Dominican Republic, I believe. And it's a shame because you'll see these people months later, they'll be posing for pictures and they'll be saying, "Hey, sponsor me. I'm sponsored by some drink and I work out." But it's really it's nonsense. It's so nonsensical that it's ridiculous as well. It's just, you know, the pursuit of perfection is disgusting these days, And listen, I'm not on a high horse. I'm not preaching to you. I'm just telling you. If you want to get ahead if you want to get ahead, be yourself, If you have thoughts, take your thoughts, say them, be who you are, and that's that, man. People are either going to take you or they're not going to take you. It doesn't matter. Um it's just how it is. Don't be one of these people who are, hey, everybody should be included, and you're like, you know, everybody should be included until they come for your job, and then you're disgusted. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like it's like preachers that they say, "Oh, you going to hell for being gay," and then they get caught in the back alleys, having sex with with men. It's like you're so staunch on it. You're so staunch in the public because you're trying to collect all the church monies, but then you're gay, and it's I don't have to tell you, I'm not even gonna say the phrase, but well, I'll say it for you. It's whatever, you're gay, but don't be don't pretend that you're not, and then make a big fuss about it, and then come to find out, boom, there it is. You're in the same party, as the people that you claim you quote unquote hate, and it's very weird. It's very weird about like people that claim they're racist, people that are like say all black people should go away, black people should do this, black people should do that. A lot of times you'll find them sleeping with people of the opposite sex, I mean, not the opposite sex, but people of different color, different nationalities, very strange stuff. Very strange, It's like you're doing all this quote unquote hatred, but you love thy enemy, apparently, I guess. I don't know. But it's just it's mind-boggling how people are these days. So, if you're gonna be a social justice warrior, be a full-time warrior. Don't be a part-time. Don't pick and choose when you want to put up your dukes and fight, And at the end of the day, don't be yourself, don't be somebody you're not, if you know if you can't say it, if you can't say the things that you are saying off camera, then don't say them on camera, you know what I mean? Or if you talk in a whole different way, then don't try to be somebody you're not, because eventually you will get caught, and eventually you will get found out, and eventually you will pay the price. And you know it's phony, it's phony baloney, and it's like, come on now, be real, be yourself, and that's a problem we have today in today's society, that there's just a lot of fakeness going on. It's a lot of sort of like people in all their positivity, you see, well, people that claim to be positive, but then when you talk to them, they're like, F this, F that, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. I hate this, I hate that, blah, 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 blah. It's like, but I see you every day posting about, oh, positive vibes, positive this, positive that. And then you want to quit every 30 seconds, there's nothing positive about you, but you posting all this stuff, all that crafting the image, don't do that. That's the worst. Crafting the image is just, It's not the way to go, because at the end of the day, yeah, you might make some money, but you'll get found out, and the money be gone, and it's just, I mean, why do it if you don't have to? Be yourself. You'll get more. You'll like yourself a lot better if you just be who you are. It's just you know don't if you don't think that the police are, of course, not all. Let's get this straight. Let's get this straight right now. We all know police are not bad people. All police are not bad. We all know this. And of course, the news are gonna only the news. One thing about the news, and one thing you probably should. I've watched less and less of the news, because every day, you know, people of all races, all nationalities get together and they have a great time. And that's probably the majority of the time. But of course, the news does not show that. You know what I mean? The news will not show all, like, when me and my wife and our family get together. There's black, white, Spanish, gay people. We got the whole spectrum going. And we all have a good time. We all love each other. The news ain't gonna come over here and show that. None of them. NBC, Fox, all of them. They won't show that. But if one of them came over here and shot the other one and said, "Hey, you're MFN or you're whatever," then they would be over here quick, fast, in a hurry, filming it. Oh, racist violence going on. So we all know the news is, but people, it's like when people try to tell you, "Oh no, they should have cooperated," and it's like, it's like, you'll see some of these, like, conservatives. They're like, "Oh, maybe this guy should have cooperated. Maybe this guy shouldn't have been drunk or whatever." And it's like, listen, we know that you are. Listen, we know that you want to be on Fox News bad, and so you say stupid stuff to. Some people they just keep saying more stupid and more stupid stuff to get on TV. The crazier stuff you say, the more you can get on TV. And it's like, you really don't believe what you're saying. And of course these people don't. Or it's like the people who want to cancel everybody. It's like when Felicia Rashad said, well, she was like, "Oh, thank God Bill Cosby's free." Was it the smartest thing to say? No, but I can't. You have to look at unfortunately for the world we live in, people don't look at things. They just take it. They just throw the blanket over it. They don't look at it from, this lady, she worked with Bill Cosby for 30 years. How long they known each other. And yeah, Bill Cosby's guilty. Yeah, Bill Cosby is a rapist, but it's kind of hard. I'm not going to sit here and flog her or say we should cancel Felicia Rashad because she made one dumb mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. But the world we live in is like the perfection. You have to be perfect all the time. If you're not perfect, we're going to cancel you, and that's stupid, and that's utterly just dumb. And this is why I don't know. This is why I'm starting to get less and less of watching news or just watching TV or being on social media. It's all nonsense. But if you want to get ahead of the game, you want to, you really want to make things work, be yourself. The more you are yourself, the better off you will be. The more you will connect with people. You will get a real genuine connection. I remember when I first started online, you when you start doing a podcast, start doing videos, people like, don't say nothing, don't say nothing to offend anybody. But it's like, if you don't say nothing, then nobody's gonna listen, because then you're milk toast. But if you have thoughts and you have beliefs in something, then go for it. It's just like when people are like, I don't support gay marriage, and it's like, okay, they get on TV and they give you all this and all that, and then they quote the Bible and quote this and quote that. It's like, that's their opinion. Like it or leave it. You know what I mean? Like, they have an opinion. They say their opinion. Your opinion might be different than theirs, but they gave you an opinion. And that's the whole point of it all. If you have an opinion, if it's gonna ruffle some feathers, then say it. You know, you don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to be cruel about it. You know, that's the one thing. You know, English, not English, but whatever language you speak, you can say things without being a jerk. You can say things without being a complete ass. You know, there's a way you can say things. You know, I'm not saying you have to be flowery about everything. Everything has to be positive vibes. You know, but there's a way you can say things. You know, if you don't believe, you don't support something. You know, if you say, "Oh, I think defund the police is a bad idea," blah blah blah, and that's what you believe, you know. But it's just be yourself, be authentic, you know. Don't be one of these fake. Let me come down from the from the let me come down from the mountaintop for a little while and get amongst the scrum with you heathens, you peasants, you know, and support these people. And then once the cameras turn off, you're like, all right, like, hey, can I get a ride? Oh no, my limo only fits me, so I got to go back, you know. It's it's funny. One time I remember I heard this lady and they asked her about Bernie Sanders, and she said, "Oh, I don't like Bernie Sanders. He's fake." And they said, "What do you mean?" And she said, "He talks all this stuff, but you know, he'll wait and then he'll walk around. He walked 3 blocks to go catch a limo or whatever, you know." And I was like, I laughed. I mean, you know, I'm like, that's her opinion, you know. I mean, I found it funny riding in limos, but I mean, if you got the money, you got the money. You know what I mean? But anyway, the whole point of this whole rant or whatever you want to call this whole episode is just to be yourself. Don't be fake. Don't be a, you know, workout, man. If you had surgery, you know, it's like it's like when you see these people, they're like, oh no, I've never had anything done to my lips, and their lips look like balloons. It's like, come on now, you know, like let's be for real. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for this podcast. That's going to be it for this episode. Go out in the world and just be yourself, you know, be who you are, and man, everything else. People will find you, people will like you, people will find, you know, like I said, everybody's not going to be your pal anyway, so it doesn't matter. So you might as well you're better off just being yourself. All right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back tomorrow with all new episode of Online Marketing Movement. Until then, my name is Tony Rizzano. Thank you for listening, and as always, everybody, peace.